I don't know what's necessary, but something definitely is necessary to make a real fix with that. All right. We are going to have to say so long to you, James. We have a new guest coming on, and I hope we could count on being able to talk to you later tonight as the results come in.
Oh, yes, definitely. I'll be on later.
Yes, we will too. We'll have coverage resuming at 8 p.m. and a little bit of news and announcements. We're going to be back in the air at 2 only for a little bit, and we're going to say so long to James because we have a new guest coming on. That's Rohan Pandey. Yeah, and we're going to get him on in a moment. He worked to flip a very key district in New Jersey. And yeah, here he is. We are going to get him on. That's coming up in, I should say, we'll be right back in a minute. With this is the Spencer Walsh Radio Network. Your show will return in just 4 minutes.
Pendo on the beat.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back today with Rohan Pandey and his good friend. What's up? How's it going? Simon, sorry, Simon, I don't know your last name. Oh, yeah, because we like met like over the summer, and I was like, wow, because Rohan's like actually volunteering in a campaign, and could you just like describe like what was the campaign that you were working on? And what was the race like? What do they have to do? Who was it? Were they like in challenging or? Okay, so yeah, he does
2 years, yeah, for you terms, yeah.
He does seem to be pretty entrenched there, and that's always good to see challenging. And how is it gone so far? Like, are you still with them, or do you still like?
I actually think Tom has a good chance to win this thing. So I feel like I'm still with them. I'm going to a party later this evening for Tom Malinowski to see if he wins or not.
That's cool.
I think the race is very neck and neck. Leonard Lance, I have no beef with Leonard Lance. I think he's been pretty well. It's just his voting record has not been 100% with what he says he's doing. I think Tom, I also really agree with a lot of Tom's issues and statements.
So, like, how would you describe Tom in like the overall spectrum for the Democratic Party? Like, is he
I think he is a moderate. He's more moderate than a lot of people. Like, I know there's been ads, especially in New Jersey, that's saying like, oh, he's a Pelosi liberal, or yeah, he's like Elizabeth Warren, which is just not true. I think he's a lot more moderate, and he chooses rationale over like he's very bipartisan. I like to say bipartisan.
Mm-hmm. And Simon, like, have you been supporting Tom? Are you right there with Rohan?
Oh yeah, I haven't worked on the campaign, but yeah, I mean, it seems like Tom's a great guy, great candidate. Yeah, like what Rohan said, nothing against Lance. Yeah.
Yeah, so that
Tom's
is
great.
I'll go love Tom, but like personally, like what is that district like? Is it a lot more like moderate, kind of like suburban Republican Democrats?
I think okay. So to sum it all up, so the district is you have both rural counties such as Harding and other places in New Jersey.
Very Republican.
Very, very Republican.
Very-
Very red.
Yeah.
While you have other places like Short Hills and Milburn and I think and Summit that
Which can
are
swing.
which like Milburn is sort of red, but it's mostly liberal, while Summit is kind of red, kind of blue, and you have a lot of mixed communities, especially with what I think Trump has really rallied a lot of Democrats and to come out and vote at the polls, just because they don't like Trump. Like my mom was telling me this morning, like, oh, there are people in their cars waiting at the voting polls, the polling centers, and they're saying they're like waiting in the cars. This is the first time that this has happened, and it's just because of not because of hatred towards Lance, but because of hatred towards Trump, and they want to flip the House.
So you're just trying to send a message there just to Trump proudly?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of Democrats are riled up because of Trump, and that's like a lot of the candidates are riding that wave. A lot of the Democratic candidates are riding that wave, and in NJ District 7, it's very, very competitive. It's neck and neck, as I was saying before, and that everyone needs to go out and vote, and yeah.
So yeah, what have been the polls? Is the polls are like within the margin of error, all that kind of stuff, or I from last I heard, Malinowski kind of was opening up a little bit of a lead, right?
Yeah, he was holding a few points, but of course, a few points on barely anything.
Yeah.
It can swing at all. It can swing easily. Yeah, I just like support Tom, and I think that he has a really good chance to winning this race. But of course, there's always a chance that he doesn't, just because it's so competitive and anything could happen. We'll see at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I was just talking about this before you got here with someone else. It was about like the voting problems that have been really on the country. I mean, I don't know if you've heard, Georgia, also like Atlantic County, Gwinnett County is where Atlanta is, and that has a lot of problems with long wait times. People saying that, like error messages saying that they already voted. Has that been any easier for you guys? Have you heard any reports of that where you guys are?
No, I haven't heard any reports of that, but of course I'm also in school, so
Yeah.
I'm not really getting those reports right now. Maybe there are, maybe there aren't.
Seems like it's gone smoothly so far.
Yeah, that is definitely very good. Like Simon, for those of you, we all probably could assume where Rohan is in the political area. Like, do you fall mostly in line with him, or who are you looking to see flip the House or keep the House? Or
If I'm right, I think like Rohan falls slightly Democratic.
Yeah, I'm more moderate though.
Yeah.
Moderate, yeah.
I'm not like super liberal. I'm not like Elizabeth Warren or anything.
Yeah,
But like,
and I sway Republican, but I have some Democratic views. But only race I haven't followed it that much this year, but I like Hugan. I just think Menendez is a crook.
Yeah. That's another interesting thing in your race. You probably have the closest the thing that the Republicans have to flipping a Democratic seat.
I do not. So I don't like Menendez. I'm just gonna say right now, but Hewen aligned himself with Trump very early and didn't change that until very recently.
Yeah,
and that's the only reason I would be voting. Like, if I could
go
vote,
against his word,
I would go against Hewen. I don't really believe it. Like, the ads they have against him are they're not that great. But I'm the only reason I would vote for Menendez just to keep that seat because we need it.
I think he's a shady guy.
He is. He's definitely shady. But if you look at his voting record, it has been for New Jersey basically all the time. It's just he's taken back money, or I think, I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that, but yeah.
All right, yeah. So that seems to be some pretty contentious stuff. Like, this is your first ever election yet, or have you? What got you into working on the campaign? Just like you just decided to go with your local district?
I've been interested in politics since around like the 2012 election. And I really enjoy, like, I'm always keeping in touch with like races and competitive races. And I just really wanted to join one, see what it's like, see how it is interning there. And I really enjoyed my experiences with the campaign. Everyone was super nice and super welcoming.
Sucks we can't vote though.
Yeah,
we can't vote. However,
we still do have a few years off. We still rely on our older people to get it done first. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely going to be very. What are your? I have to ask. What are your guys' predictions for the elections? Everyone making their predictions. What are your guys?
I think the House will flip. I do not think the Senate will flip. Yeah, that's my predictions. I'm pretty sure Malinowski's going to win. I do think the House will flip. I don't know about the Senate.
Yeah, I agree with Rohan. I just think what he said earlier about that these Democrats are now more empowered than ever to get to the polls, vote for who they want. And I think they're tired of Trump and want to make a change in the government.
Because this is like the first year that the people have been have gone out to the polls, and it's been a big deal because usually like House races and Senate races aren't that big of a deal on non-election years. However, this year it's just such a big deal. It's all in the news. If you listen to NPR, if you listen to all these other podcasts or all these other media outlets, they're saying, "Oh, get to the polls, vote," and yeah.
Yeah, so there seems to be a lot of just everyone's making it easier for you to vote, except for really the actual politicians. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting again to see how this all turns out. And the question is, you seem to really have a lot of suburban Republicans, some suburban Democrats as well in a lot of your New Jersey 7th district. I was wondering how many, in your experience, how many of them have been focused on Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation?
Okay, so I've been canvassing, and I've had a few discussions with a few people about this. I've probably had it with Republicans about Brett Kavanaugh, and I'd like to say around 1 out of every 25 people I've talked to about this situation, one is yes, he has to go. I know Republicans that I canvassed that said, I don't really agree with Brett Kavanaugh, and they don't really agree with him. There's a few, 2 or 3, and then there's the rest are just it doesn't really matter. I don't like him, but I also see why Trump wants him to get him appointed. Because, on my own level, if I'm talking one-on-one, I think he should have gone in. He should be should have gone confirmed in, which he did. But of course, there are all the allegations and stuff. But I don't think. Yeah, it's really confusing and conflicting. But from what I've heard, from what I've spoken to and asked people about, it's doesn't really matter. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But I think for the Democrats especially, it's riled them up even more because confirmation has given them even more reason to go out to the polls and even more reason.
Yeah, just within my neighborhood as well, it's been a lot of people who are more focused, or it seems to me they are more focused on these midterms rather than Kavanaugh's confirmation. I don't think it really made a difference to them and their views.
It was a big thing for a few weeks, and it kind of could just calm down. You'd say?
Nobody in my community or who I know has brought it up. It wasn't a hot topic issue for them. So, but midterms are these are crazy. The amount of attention it's getting and how many people are going out. It's cool to see.
Yeah, it's definitely cool to see so many people activated about that. And what has been the biggest issue? Has it been healthcare? Has it been the economy? What's sticking out to you?
So I think the biggest issue, especially for where we live, which is suburbs of New York, right? Donald Trump's he refused to pay for the new bridges and the maintenance of the trains, and I to get to our camp over the summer, I had to take those trains. They're not great trains. They're okay right now, but and they're really unreliable. They'd come a few minutes late or a few minutes early, and people really rely on these trains. And so the reason, the way, because Donald Trump did that to these people, I feel especially my area, which is Short Hills and Milburn, they are going up against him right now because Leonard Lance did nothing, and then also NJ District 11 did nothing. That's why Mikey Sherrill, I think, has a really good chance.
I like Sherrill as well. But I just think people.
Is it 11? It's not 11. I forget which one. It's not 11 that Sherrill's running in. 11 is super strong Democrat.
Yeah, I just think people are just against just Trump in general. It's not really an issue with him, but these Democrats. My opinion, he's kind of an imbecile. He's saying he's going crazy on Twitter, and he's just not acting very presidential. And I think people want to change, and that's why they're so riled up about these